haven't done a video in a while, I thought, well, we can do a show and tell. Well, it sure has been a quick minute since my last long video. So what are you doing today, Maureen? Last week, I took the week off and kind of went on a staycation. My sister-in-law came to visit me just to have some time, and she is an organizing queen. My office had been one of those things where it was my music business, my growing business, my teaching business, regular household personal finances and stuff. And it just was a mess. And over the last 10 years, I would get so far and then I would quit. Well, we just picked at it for a few days and it was magically transformed. And now I know where everything is. Everything has a space. My sister-in-law, Wendy Darling, she is just amazing. And when she was coming, the plan was we're gonna tackle the office because she's actually the one who organized my larder and made it what it is today. So back last year, she was like, I'm coming back and we're gonna tackle that office. And so that's what we did. I wanted my office done and I wanted my spare car keys found because I lost them a while ago, then I found them. Then I lost them again, and I had a couple of ideas of where they could be, and I just was figuring, well, if we're cleaning up something, we'll find them. And I just thought, you know, God, I just want you to direct me to wherever these are. I was in the studio puttering around, and so half hour before she left, she found my keys. Yay! So since I haven't done a video in a while, I thought, well, we can do a show and tell. Also, I am going to be starting some other seeds. So I want to show you what is going on in the studio. If we have time, we'll plant some other seeds together. So let's start with the big ensemble. What do we have growing in here? Wow. Lots of things. So yesterday I did just repot up some squashes here. It looks like yellow crooked neck, and there's some zucchini, are a lot of my pickling cukes. The tomatoes are looking fantastic there, as you can see. I have a variety of tomatoes here, and then I have another variety of tomatoes here. Now I want to talk about my peppers. And so I have peppers here, it's a variety, and another, this is a bird's eye chili. And you see, these are just not growing. If you come up and look at this one, which I have potted up into what's going to be his home pot for outside, he is doing much better. The first set I showed you, those ones I just actually repotted them up and they are looking a little bit better. And what I did is I wasn't letting the soil compress down. I was added a little bit more life to it, and they seem to be doing better. But once I seem to pot up, things look better. It's one little lesson that I feel like I have learned. Moving on from that little lesson, the other lesson that I've realized is that years ago, a friend of mine, he was in the studio here with me, and it was early January, February, and I had some things in, and he made a comment and he said, well, the sun is really low in the horizon, so do you think things will be okay? I thought, I'm a non-grower, I don't know, I just put seeds in the soil and da-da-da. But what I'm kind of realizing here is that some seeds that I planted in January and February, and they've sprouted up and they're doing okay. But other plants that I've just planted in the last couple of weeks, like they just, bang, they just take off and they come in with really great stalks. I start everything, in the tray under the light really close. And then once they come up, they move over to here. And then as they get too big for that short light, I bring them here. And once they're at this stage, I am going to start potting up some of these things. So again, these are squashes. I planted these April 3rd and it's April 19th now. And just look at the growth on these. Yeah, my loofah here, which would have been planted in January, and then it was repotted up in February. So I think it could have something to do with where the sun is in the horizon on the difference that the plants make. Even though they are in a warm environment, I keep it at 18 to 19 degrees Celsius in here. They're under timed grow lights. Anyway, let's continue on and keep looking at our stuff. So I think I only have the 2 elderberries there. There's one there and there that propagated. The other 2 haven't made it. These are doll baby watermelons. My yam slip is doing well here. I have no idea what this is, but it's a volunteer something, so we're gonna let it grow and see what it might be, and then pot it up if need be. Yam here with lots of slips growing on it. I have transferred it to a clear container. I liked using clear last year rather than just a red Solo cup. More cucumbers over there, and this, I don't know what it is. And I didn't write myself a good enough note, so I have to go look for the seed packet to see what it is. It kind of looks like it's a cabbagey thing. Why do you have more su choy and bok choy planted, Maureen? Well, thank you for asking. Let me show you. Remember our first planting that we did quite some time ago, and we had the reme cloth over top? The ladies got in and they, of course, ate some of the plants and then dug up the rest. So I salvaged them what I could. So that is why we are doing more of those. Here are 2 more peppers again. Once I transplant them, they started to do better. So I might be doing some more of those. Also, I will be putting some cucumbers into ground outside, but some of them will be in pots. And then what I do is I make these out of, I think it's 2" by 4" wire with some zip ties. So this is just an example, if this was a cucumber, for it to grow up into. And then if it continues to go, I just make a second one and attach it. And that's what I also do around my tomatoes. Super inexpensive, and they're reusable. They're not like your typical tomato cages where the prongs on the bottom, they get all bent out of shape. Some of these I haven't zip tied, and I've just used the wire around it to clasp it. And then when the season's done, I open them up and lay them out flat. Out in my porch greenhouse, lettuces, I brought the broccolis out because I just want them to harden off, and then we're gonna get them out. I feel like the lettuces could go out. We do have moments where it could go back down to 0, so I'm a little concerned, and I don't want to have to cover them, but they're taking up space and I have more stuff that's got to come, so we might have to get these lettuces out into their home spot. So let's do a little bit of planting too. If you are new, it's super important to write what the item is. I also like to put what company it came from, because if I really like that product, I want to keep buying those seeds unless I have my own seeds. I write a few extra details if I need to. This one I've put on there that it's a perennial and the date that I'm planting it, so today, April 19th. Now, if I pot these up, I will also write the second date because I want to keep track of what's going on. I'm doing some more herbs, and I don't need to do a full 6 tray of herbs. So I'll write them on the sides. I do it with painter's tape because it comes off easy, and I do it before we add anything to it, because once we start adding soil and water, it could make this run. So I've got those already. I've got my soil already, and this is just a nice loose soil. It's got some vermiculite. It's also got a little bit of peat moss, and I'm not gonna pack it down. I'm just gonna fill those up. And then I'm just gonna do a gentle impression just to make sure that I have enough soil in there. So I'm gonna try growing this giant watermelon. Woohoo! I'm only gonna be using the 6 seeds, 6 chances to get a watermelon plant. Next, I'm gonna do small sugar pumpkins. So apparently these are better for making pies, and that they are a little sweeter. So again, I do have some other pumpkins growing. I'm not gonna need to have all 6, so we'll start with those. Just give them a little push down. And then I can just top it up with a little bit more soil, just in case. Nice and loose. And then just a gentle water to get them going before we put them into their grow tray. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I really hope that you are taking the time to go out and get some seeds or some starter plants for your own garden to help feed and nourish your family. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. God bless.